We're out of options. We're out of time. Who's got a plan? No. No. Nope. Nah. I mean, maybe. Nah, I want to go with no. Wait. What do you mean, maybe? Well, there is like this super powerful artifact that's never really been brought up before or mentioned, even when it would have been super useful. I could maybe use that to save the day. Oh. Yeah, we usually find one of those. Well, alright then. Let's go with that. Do we do teams? Dibs on Castiel. Wait, what? Dibs on Sam. Dibs on Sam. Oh, damn it. Fine. What do you need me to do? Go stand by the big hole and throw this bag into it. Big hole? Wait. What? How long has this been here? I think we really failed a spot check. Alright, so Cass, we'll go in there. Yeah. Ah! Come in. Alright, I'll go hang out with the redhead MILF and see what we can do. Oh, quit whining! Right, am I still being Catch again? Die, Catch! Ah! Oh, bollocks. At least he had insurance. Alright, where's the super powerful artifact never before mentioned when it would have been relevant hidden? Oh, it's just down the hall, past past that, gateway. Yeah, I know. Going to betray us. Should we get it over now? What? What would make you ever say that? Oh, he's totally going to betray you. You think I don't know that? Shh, you're giving away the plot. Have it thee. Ah. Look, I'm telling you, that demon's a backstabber. See? What's your plot? Use this thing, become God? Of course it is. Just once I want a demon looking for a muffin recipe. Unlimited! Nope. Oh. Dang. You're it. Lurk. And by it, I mean dead. I just don't see how a ritual involves a back rub. Shh. Keep doing it. Wait. I think something went wrong. Oh, son of a bitch. Something went wrong. Oh, okay. Samuel, time to stab me. Well, this kind of came out of nowhere. Look, we're running out of time. Okay. Seriously, where'd this hole come from? Cass, something go wrong with the plan? Yeah, demon's gonna betray us. I smited him good. Cass, I just have one question. He was aiming to become God. No, I mean, how'd you get out of hell? It's like 1 billion feet down in that hole. And your wings were clipped along with the other angels. Look, if you're gonna be this way about it, I'm leaving. Okay, heads up. I am going to be all over the place on this one. Part of that is because this episode kind of proves that the previous one was a big waste of time and energy. Don't get me wrong. I understand that despite what Chuck said, sometimes in a story it's not the ending that's hard, but the middle. More than once, I've had a story idea with perfect beginning and a pitch perfect ending with just no idea how to connect the two. After all, we don't spend time in the show watching the boys drive from one place to another. We just have a location shot, boys pull up, get out and do their thing. So it's tempting and really easy to just do a jump cut in the story and leave out the middle. Sometimes that can be a right call. Other times, maybe we should look at the middle as an opportunity to explore characters, build the world, lay out the stakes. Other than bringing in Rowena and Ketch for their deaths, What did the previous episode accomplish that this one couldn't live without? Saving Kevin? Oh wait, Balfagor blew that horn, and Rowena cast a spell, meaning Kevin got sucked back into hell anyway. Despite all the boy's efforts, he's back where he started. So yeah, I'm glad we wasted screen time screwing this poor prophet over once more. What's going on now with Castiel's powers? Back in season 5, he was growing immortal, supposedly because he was cut off from heaven. He's kind of like a battery unplugged from the power station that would normally recharge him. An idea that works pretty well. Then in the last 2 seasons, we're told, no, it's the angels which power heaven. Their existence keeps the place running. A weird way to do that, and odd, but I did notice that season 5 opened and closed with Castiel's death. So, there could be explained that when Castiel died at the start of the season, and Chuck resurrected him, that he was brought back different. Maybe his powers would be deleted over time. And then at the end of the season, when he died again, he was restored back to a normal angel. Thus meaning the entire season was a temporary condition. Again, a bit of a stretch, and something I wish the show would bother explaining, but okay. And yet now they're talking about him losing his powers again, power which is needed to sustain heaven. So then why is he losing it? Wouldn't other angels be losing their powers too? And if they're all losing their power, is heaven on the verge of collapse? An idea which they could have run with to bring back someone? At least he got to properly smite Crowley Jr. Speaking of which, I at least liked his plan and generally how he went about it. The revelation about Lilith's crook and all that, I'd rank it about 50% on Nate's patented retcon canon scale. How does this totally scientific scale work? Well, first measure, does this bit of information make logical sense within the universe? Sure. Does it fill in previously unanswered questions or mysteries while maintaining that aforementioned logic? Yeah, it has been a bit of a mystery how Lilith would be able to control rebellious demons who were outside of her grasp, especially when it established that she was trapped in the pit. So a magical artifact that could yank the leash of her minions makes total sense. Does this revelation avoid opening up more questions or make previous plots and characters nonsensical? Well, no. And there's the 50% score. The big problem with this revelation is the bit of Lilith's crook being a siphon, because of the various obvious question never asked. Why didn't Lilith use it before? Remember back when Castiel absorbed all the souls of purgatory and became nearly godlike? Well then, why wouldn't Lilith, who was evil to the point of eating babies and desired Lucifer's release above even her own life, why wouldn't she use this earlier to absorb all the souls of hell, gain enough power to release Lucifer, and then rule heaven and earth with him? Sure, maybe she couldn't do it right when she made the thing, because there were maybe only a dozen souls to power her up, but why not back in the 1960s, or 40s, or 1850s, or some other century where, by those time periods, hell would have had billions of souls? I'm not saying that there couldn't be a reason for this. For example, what we see of Crowley, yeah, it would kind of make sense. Besides not knowing Enochian, even if he did, and he often came across as the guy that could learn or figure it out, he never seemed that concerned with really rising very high above, well, being king of hell. He even kind of seemed reluctant to be God, what with all that paperwork that would entail. He always was asking an angel to be God. So yeah, I can understand why he might not bother with that item. But we're to believe Lilith was somehow less scheming and less ambitious than this random demon we met 2 episodes ago? No, I'm not buying it. Speaking of season 7, You know that old rule about always challenging your heroes? It's one of those writing rules of thumb that the more memorable the obstacle your protagonists have to overcome, the more memorable your story. What makes Supernatural so memorable but the story of two ordinary brothers having to face Satan himself? What a lot of people forget is that this same rule applies to verbal conflicts. And a debate between two characters is more memorable when both characters bring the strongest arguments they can to the conflict. And yeah, that's what bugged me most about Dean and Castiel's argument. Let's put aside a moment who's right and who's wrong. On just a technical level of the argument, it bothered me immensely that Castiel never once brought up the time he absorbed a ton of souls and how badly that all went for them. Yeah, Dean had kind of a point that they could deal with an Archangel level Balfagor later on, but then Cass could point out last time they tried that, Leviathans got loose. They nearly took over the world. Bobby died as a result of that choice the last time they went with it. So this time, he called an audible. I mean, if anyone in the bunker, Cass should be more aware of the consequences of letting someone get too much power. Then at least their argument would have been interesting, because it's a thought-provoking question. You don't even have to have Dean change his mind on the answer. That's one of the benefits of a verbal confrontation. You can leave things unresolved, while physical confrontations have the problem of always pulling toward a decisive end. Once upon a time, Supernatural could do this very well, and I was disappointed this time they didn't. And I'm kind of disappointed that poor Ketch and Rowena never got their date night, but I'll also have to admit I'm a little too jaded as well. Had the show not just screwed over Kevin so badly in the previous episode, I think these two characters fighting it would have had more impact on it. So, I'm still missing them, which disappoints me since we saw several salt shells in this episode, and I really wanted to pull them out. This episode, I'm going to have to give a rating of about 3 shells. And really, that's only because the previous episode now looks much worse, and this one looks a lot better. The moments this episode wanted to have were really undercut by the previous episode and not as well properly set up. I did like most of the visual effects and the acting. The hell set piece was pretty nifty. Of the 3-episode arc that this one concludes, episodes 1, 2, and 3 of the 15th season, yeah, I'd have to say this one's probably the best. I do feel bad about the other hunters we got to see. I mean, if you have a speaking line on this show, odds are you're going to die. And it does feel like another lost opportunity to have had one of the spin-off characters in that role. But the newbie was solid, and I'm kind of afraid to ask to see more of her, because that means she may suffer Ketch's fate. This was, like so many of other Dab's works, this felt solid, but still needing polish. As a whole, I'd have to rank this 3-parter about, I guess maybe a 2. Really dragged down by that middle episode. Even this one, the best part of it, still had flaws in it. Episode 1, I'd have to say is its faults are kind of more subtle, spread out. Episode 2, you can go see my rant about that. And this episode had a lot of ups with a few major missteps in it. So with all that averaging out, yeah, 2 shells for the 3-part arc as a whole. And we'll see where season 15 takes us from here. I got no Patreon. Subscribe if you want, or don't. Up to you.